Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. This is going to be 1,000,000% a rant. I guarantee you that. So if you have a nervous disposition, you don't like the odd fruity word slipping out, I suggest you go, sit down, pour yourself a nice herbal tea, watch songs of praise, because I'm about to get some stuff off my chest. Not only about the state of modern day football media and the impartiality of reporting the news when it comes to football players and certain clubs being favorited in the media, about everything else as well. I've had enough. I'm absolutely sick of it all. I really am. I'm like John Coffey in the Green Mile. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired. I'm tired of this transfer window. I'm absolutely sick to the back teeth of it. Newcastle United have had a disastrous window, a shit window. Even a blind person could see we've had a shit window. We have awful, terrible. And the reason being, upstairs is a mess. Newcastle United have completely fucked it upstairs. There's no director of football. There's no CEO. The CEO basically reneged on his duties a year ago through ill health. And of course, that's unfortunate. And we all feel sorry for him. But there's been no contingency plan by this football club to sort anything out. Let Paul Mitchell just fucking swan off and leave. See you guys, my mate's ill, so I'm off. Cheerio. Off he fucked. No sporting director step in. Poor Eddie Howe in his holidays had to cancel his family holidays short, which isn't good for his rest and recuperation. This is a man who had pneumonia last year, by the way, was hospitalized last year in his job as a manager. But also, okay, Eddie, come back off your holiday and be even more stressed out. All of the targets we've tried to achieve, we can't get them. And I'll get into the banter club type shit we're dealing with from the other rival fans at the moment, which is grotesque. It really is. It's gone beyond a joke to just a complete disgrace in terms of singling out Newcastle, everybody looking for a cheap pop. It's fucking horrendous. It's like the wrestling in the 90s, everyone looking for a cheap pop on the microphone. It's pathetic, right? But going back to Newcastle in itself, the latest news, the whole situation was we looked like we were in a good position to sign Benjamin Sesko. And as I sit here right now, that decision still hasn't been made. It's gone back and forth and gone back and forth. I'm going to get into the shithouses in the media right now. But Benjamin Sesko looked like he was the one who was going to be the replacement for Alexander Isak. No Sesko, Isak does not go to Liverpool. That's going to be the end goal here, right? So I'll put that right out there now for all the plastic knacker Liverpool fans in the comments giving me shit because you clearly don't have enough of your own content to watch. You've got to jump on Newcastle channels and give them shit as well. So Sesko does not come to Newcastle. Isak does not go to Liverpool, right? That's going to be a fact. But we'll get into this, right? So ever since Alexander Isak decided to tell Newcastle he wanted to explore other options, imagine telling your missus that, fuck me, you'd be out with a bag like that. You wouldn't be looked after and paid 120 grand a week and fuck off to Spain without telling anybody about it for your own warm weather camp. So Alexander Isak said he wanted to explore options because Liverpool basically caught him, tapped him up without tapping him up. Going back to the whole Jose Mourinho and Ashley Cole thing, there was a line drawn in the sand back then where you couldn't just meet him in a hotel and go, hey, nice to meet you, Ash. Sign for us, mate. Fuck Arsenal. Then they both got done for that. So you can't do it anymore. So they do all the scrutiny now. They do it on WhatsApp. They do it through little photo shoots that they do for, brands that they share, boots and fucking sporting things and drinks companies and all of this shit that they make loads of money from by being a footballer. So that's the kind of shit they get into people's ears and all that. You go back and look at that clip now between Isak and Virgil van Dijk at a cup final, all this bollocks the footballers do. I'll come sign for you next week. All that shit that they do in games, it's all part of tapping up, right? That's what happened to Alexander Isak, unsettled him, right? He signed a 6-year contract in Newcastle. He's still got 3 years left to go. Not a single one of these shithouse red cartel loving journalists and influencers are talking about that, right? I'm going to start right numero uno, shithouse number one, Fabrizio Romano. This guy, once upon a time, was a respected transfer journalist. He would get the scoop. He would get this top story. He would talk about it. People would go to him for that. All he is now is a mouthpiece for 2 or 3 or 4 clubs. That's all he is. Ever since the Alexander Isak thing happened, he's been at it hourly, tweeting about Alexander Isak more than his own parents have probably talked about him since he was born. In a single day, 60 tweets about Alexander Isak going to Liverpool. Not a mention about he's still locked in a contract with Newcastle. They might not want to sell him. That's up to Newcastle. All about his dream move is to go to Liverpool. His dream move, what was dream move now all of a sudden, this one window? It wasn't his dream move 3 years ago when Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, not a single one of them went anywhere near him. 6 goals in a season in La Liga. legs made of fucking crystal. Nobody went near him. Newcastle did. Eddie Howe coached him, and now he's one of the best strikers on the planet. Where were they then? They weren't there at all. So that's nothing that gets talked about by these football pundits and experts and all this other shit. We've resorted now to living off one guy's posts or one guy's videos. You got him and you got David Ornstein. I used to respect David Ornstein, but all of his rhetoric around the Sesko deal, every single bit has ended with Manchester United still here though. Manchester United still there though. Manchester United, by the way. So even when Newcastle were bidding for the player, and Manchester United weren't bidding for the player at all, they were waiting for the player to say that he wanted to come, and then they bid for him. That's not the way transfers work. You talk to a club and you go, I want to buy that player. How much is he? He's 50 million. There's 50 million. Go talk to the player. Hey, player, do you want to come and sign for us? Well, I'm not sure about that. Okay, well, we're here. Give us a shout if you fancy it. You don't go, I tell you what, thanks for that. Appreciate that. Like what you're doing. I'm going to wait to see if they're interested. If that's the case, Newcastle say, buy Sesko, piss off, and go move on to another target. The way we behave this window has been amateurish, right? And we almost deserve the shit we're getting off these other fan bases, these other fan content creators. So we're going to get it off me in a minute. But going back to the mainstream football media, Romano number one shithouse, Ornstein's up there as well, Ben Jacobs. I mean, I've seen Newcastle channels. I'm not going to shout them out because that's not fair to do that to them. I don't want a gang up war. I don't want a podcast war with people. But I've seen Newcastle channels have this little shithouse on the channel. He clearly has either a supporting favoritism or something to Manchester United or Liverpool or one of the two, right? Most of them probably do. They're of that age where Manchester United were dominating football or Liverpool were dominating football, where they probably support one of the two, right? He does not care for Newcastle. There is an anti-Newcastle agenda in the media, 100%. It's not even hidden. You can see it from space right next to the Great Wall of China to the left-hand side. They hate Newcastle. These journalists do not like Newcastle. They do everything they can to discredit Newcastle, to talk them down. It doesn't matter what they've done. We've got Champions League for the second time in 3 years. We've just won first trophy in 70 years. We've got one of the best young managers in Europe who develops players, who has been linked to the England job. Still no credit, still no respect given by these mainstream football journalists. Zero impartiality, right? That's unprofessional. I'm totally disenchanted with the world of football media right now. The mainstream media, then you get into the big channels like Sky Sports. Sky Sports talking about Isak driving his Jeep into Benton. Morecambe have just gone under, 100-year-old club. Where's the coverage on that? Where's the empathy on that? Where's the reporting on that? They couldn't give a shit, man. All they're talking about is Isak going to Liverpool, then Sesko, what's Manchester United's next tactic? They haven't even bid for the player. And they get people on and go, well, United are going to be this and that. Fucking United, what, man? Talk about Newcastle. It's the same when they do the Super Sunday games. If there's an Arsenal-Chelsea game or a Manchester United-Liverpool game at 4 o'clock, and it's Newcastle and Spurs or Newcastle and, I don't know, fucking Nottingham Forest at 1 o'clock. They give 10 minutes on them, and then the rest of the whole segment is on the game at 4 o'clock. And the pundits in the studio are ex-Manchester United and Liverpool players, or ex-Arsenal and Chelsea players. They don't care about the teams in the Premier League. They're just there to make up the numbers. And one of the big reasons Newcastle has struggled this transfer window is the bullshit rules of PSR and FFP that the Premier League brought in to strangle Newcastle. And Newcastle voted for them. This club voted for them. And they continue to play it safe. And, yes, we'll follow the rules. We'll follow the rules that are there to strangle them and choke them. If you look at those elite clubs at the top, I mean, only Manchester City, I probably would give a free pass to, right? Because Manchester City's like new money. They're like hillbillies that won a lottery, £1 billion lottery, and they're in the country club and they hate them. They don't want them there. But City are there and they can't get rid of them now. Despite all of City's success, everything that they've done, Pep Guardiola and all that, they still hate them and they still don't want them there because they don't believe they belong there. They think they should have their rightful place as the second biggest club in Manchester, behind Manchester United. I mean, where in the world, right, does a club finish 15th, bottle of cup final, have no European football, and they're still able to beat teams who qualify for the Champions League and won a trophy? It's mental, man. It's by design. It's anti-competitive, and they've fucked the whole league. They really have. I often say, if you go back in time, that sliding door moment, let the six of them fuck off to the Super League, what would the Premier League look like today? Would it be better or worse? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think, because this scenario here is just built to look after these four clubs, and everyone else is just, fight for your life kind of a thing. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. People talk about, us being feeder clubs for these big clubs, get young players in, invest in them from 8 years old and then flog them at 20 to Man United or Liverpool, and then they go on to be stars and win leagues and all this stuff. It's fucking rancid, man. It's absolutely shit. The whole world of football media, the mainstream media, has got such an anti-Newcastle agenda. I actually think the world of football, certainly the Premier League, has an anti-Newcastle agenda. And I think Newcastle have really fucked up here. They should have been shopping away from the Premier League, because there is an anti-Newcastle agenda within the Premier League. There's the Newcastle tax. They put money on top of players that don't want to deal with you for whatever reason it may be. They voted against your takeover. They didn't want you to have the takeover. They don't like you. So go abroad and buy players somewhere else. Invest in scouts. Go to fucking Brazil. Go to Italy. Go to France. Get these players in. Remember we had Graham Carney used to come back with a busload of class players from the French league, and you were like, price 3 million quid. He's mint. Where's all that kind of thinking gone? There's nobody at the club to use their brains and use joined up thinking, and that's frustrating as a Newcastle fan. They're letting us all down, every single one of us. PIF asleep at the wheel, haven't sorted the upstairs out. The upstairs hierarchy's been in fucking shambles since Amanda Staveley and Mehrdad Guddusi left, and they have not fixed that. The only person earning the stripes in that Newcastle hierarchy is Eddie Howe. 3 seasons he's been here. He's saved us from relegation. He's got us in the Champions League twice. He's won us a trophy. He's improved players that we thought were dog shit and made them very good footballers. He's got players from Europe that people don't fancy. He's turned them into world-class players like Alexander Isak. And that man deserves more credit than he's getting off the world of football, let alone Newcastle's hierarchy in the PIF as well. No point in grabbing him by the face at the end of the season and not backing him in a transfer window. I'd be genuinely worried where Eddie Howe's head's at. I really would do. But going back to the world of football media, what's pissed me off about the whole thing, I'm so disenchanted by it, right? Even doing this now, I see Newcastle fan channels slagging off Sky and slagging off all these other people, and then they jump at the chance to suckle on the teat and be on one of their shows with a big smile on their face while they're taking the piss out of them while I sit at the back of the room, barely giving them a look in, and that just, what is it all about, man? What is it all about? I'm even questioning myself, ranting at the camera here. What am I doing with this? Where am I going? Where's my audience? Because it seems to be, to succeed in this world of football fan media now, you just got to be a total wank parody character like Goldbridge, shouting out patriotisms in the middle of the room, not believing half the stuff. He fucking supports Nottingham Forest by all accounts. He just picked Manchester United because they're a big club, so his followings grew, and now he's over 2 million subscribers. I will give him his respect. He's never suckled at the teat of the big mainstream medias. He just cracks on and does his own stuff. But honestly, I cannot understand what is going on in the world of football media right now. The bias towards Manchester United, even with their dog shit. This is the worst Manchester United I've known in my life. I'm in my 40s, and I've only known Manchester United to be class from when I was young, right up, right? Only the last few years have I enjoyed watching the demise of Manchester United, the mismanagement, the shit players, the complete revolving door of managers, right? It's been sweet nectar for me as a Newcastle fan who watched them sit at the top of the tree for years to come. But what difference has it made? They're still nicking players off people. They've still got this arrogant, entitled fan base. And players are, I'll come and sign for you, Manchester United. If that's what Sesko does, I would think less of the player, because taking my black and white blinkers off him, if I'm Benjamin Sesko and I want to make my next move in football count at 22, I go to Newcastle. They've got Champions League football, number 9 shirt, 52,000 mad Geordies, new stadium supposedly coming. I'll get back to that in a second. Great young manager that can progress you as a player. Play in the biggest stage, the most, start every week. Why would you go to Manchester United? It's a dumpster fire. You don't even know if Amram's going to be there. I mean, I'd love nothing more than Manchester United to sign these players and be crap next season and still finish mid-table, because the Premier League is almost stitching up the rules because they don't want Manchester United to finish 15th again. That's terrible for the brand. And that's what it is. It's not a league, it's a brand. They don't care about Nottingham Forest, don't care about Leeds, don't care about Newcastle, don't care about Villa. All they care about is Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, probably Spurs at a push, City as well, even though they hate them. They only care about those 6 teams. Don't care about anybody else. You might as well not be there. You might as well just stand there and let them run around you and score goals. The Premier League would love that even more. It's horrendous. It really, really is. But the world of football media and reporting of football media has reached such a low bar. I'm totally lost. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to look. I really don't. You know, we're a small selection of channels of people that are honest and raw and don't just buy into the bullshit and the narrative and actually have something to say. Paul Toon Review, True Geordie. You know, the guys at True Faith, they stick to their guns as well, for good or for bad. You gotta get shots, lads. You know, there's a small minority of people who don't suckle on the teat and talk shit. Rob Rubenstein and Adam Pearson, I'll give you boys a shout as well. You know, that's all I'm going to say, because I'm really just wondering what the fuck is going on with the rest of them. I really don't get it. I can't get my head around the world of football media right now. It's doing my nut. It really, really is. It's making me wonder if I should even fucking bother doing this anymore. I honestly mean that. I'm completely lost at sea here. I don't know where I'm going with this, because I don't know where you're going in terms of the sea of football media content. You know, I feel like it needs people to be more honest and more raw and more, you know, almost like a Jonathan Pye of football. That's what we need. We need somebody to be straight and tell people exactly how it is and not fucking lie and not bullshit, and not suck and kiss somebody's arse because they think it's going to get them more subscribers and more views or whatever. Just say what you really believe. I mean, I saw some of these content creators, I think with the football terrace, I think they were, this cacophony of wanks on a screen. It looked like a fucking Guess Who game. Just threw together these weird bunch of collective people. These two lads in Chelsea shirts were trying to talk about Newcastle not signing a player like an ugly guy at the bar who can't get the girl. I mean, what is this, Love Island? Or is it football? What kind of banter is that shit? Who's watching that crap? Who really thinks that's funny or good or clever? Talk about it. Put a bit of perspective on it. Talk about PSR and FFP. Talk about the fact Newcastle can't compete because the Premier League has made it not possible. But it won't do that because they probably want free tickets to Chelsea from the Premier League or some shit like that. That's the murky, horrible shit world of football media. And it's really, really getting me down. It's really, you know, tuning my frequency out, dimming my light, pissing me off. I'm really, really sick and tired of it. I really am. I need a big break from it. I really do. Obviously, as a football content creator, I need to still be engaged to understand about news breaking. But I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of X. I'm so tired of Sky. I'm so tired of Romano and Ornstein and all these other fucking idiots with their little siren emojis. I'm sick of them. There's no impartiality. There's no respect when they're talking about other clubs. It's all like, oh, Manchester United come to town, give them it. You know, Liverpool come to town, you need to give him your player. Doesn't matter if he's got 3 years left or 10 years left in his contract, you still got to sell him. It's bullshit. I'm sick of it. It's really pissing me off. But going back to the whole scenario about Newcastle United and Sesko. Now, I think it's Sesko or bust, right? Now, I'm going to be nice and calm and clear here. So all these little placker knackers in the comments who've been giving me shit over the last few weeks, be them Liverpool or Manchester United fans, can listen nice and clearly and understand this before they type their comments with shit predictor text comments or shit vocabulary that doesn't even make any sense, or gobbledygook. So probably because they're a fucking idiot, they can't type properly. They're too busy wanking with the other hand to fucking type the keyboard. But this is the situation, right? Benjamin Sesko or bust, I think, for Newcastle. If they don't sign Benjamin Sesko and he goes to Manchester United, which he still hasn't decided to do at the point of this recording, then Alexander Isak does not go to Liverpool. I don't think Newcastle are that stupid. They've been terrible in this transfer window. That is no question. That is without doubt, no question. But they will not let their star striker go to Liverpool with no replacements in. That message has been clear, reverberating clear through the people who have talked sense in this madness, likes of Craig Ho, the likes of Keith Downey, the likes of the lads at the Geordie Journos, Liam and Jordan and Dom. They've talked sense throughout this because they are talking about it from a Newcastle perspective. They're not clickbait wankers. They're not red cartel butt-sucking journalists. They're Newcastle orientated reporters. Craig tries to be a bit more impartial, credit to him that, and Keith as well. But they talk sense about it. Newcastle are not going to sell their star striker to Liverpool for 120, 130, 150 million quid with no replacement coming in. So if Sesko does not go to us and he goes to Manchester United, Liverpool fans will be sick. Manchester United fans will be doubly happy because they hate Liverpool more than they hate anybody else, even us, right? So that is what's going to happen. I think Newcastle do sign Wissa from Brentford. I think that deal is going to happen. I don't agree with the way Wissa's gone about things. For any Brentford fans giving me shit in the comments, I don't like that. I think you deserve more respect in that. I think Isak should have handled himself with more respect and dignity than he has at Newcastle. Howe's pulled him over the coals. There's no surprise he was in there before any other players. I think there was a meeting plan there. I wouldn't be surprised if Howe was in the building. Nobody's seen him come in because he want to have a serious word with Alexander Isak, or somebody from the PIF was about to get on the computer and have a serious word with him about his antics, because he's got 3 years left here. They either buy him out of it, right? Or he stays here. And that's the way it's going to be with the club. But if you don't get the replacement, then you cannot sell him. If Newcastle sell Alexander Isak in this window and do not buy in a replacement that's anywhere near his level, and by the way, Sesko is way off his level. He's way off his level. He's 22. He's raw. He's got a lot of good attributes. He's strong. He's quick. He's good in the air. He's a stronger physical player than Alexander Isak. He's not as technically gifted, but he's not at Isak's level. He's a good few years off Isak. And you can see that Isak was a bit raw when he came as well. Maybe had a bit more technical ability than Sesko does, different players. But, Benjamin Sesko is not just going to come in and replace Alexander Isak like for like if he does go to Liverpool, right? So that's something right there. But if we don't get Sesko, we still have arguably the best centre forward in the league. Is he happy here? No. Has he got a contract here? Yes. Do Newcastle have to sell him? No. So if we don't get Sesko, we still have Isak. If Manchester United don't get Sesko, they've got Højlund. They've got no one. So Manchester United need this kid way more than we do right now. We only need him if Isak's going to go, right? And if we do sign him, I think Isak will go. But if we don't sign him, Isak will not go. And I don't think that is going to play out any other way than that. And if Newcastle United's owners allow that to happen, they are mental, and they will have a massive kickoff on their hands from the fans at the club. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Absolutely no doubt about that in my mind. But that's the state of play where we are right now. At the minute, we don't know what Sesko's going to do. We've got to wait and see what he does. But this stuff in the media is so anti-Newcastle, so unimpartial. I think we'll say about Martin Ziegler, he's another one as well. All these stories about, there's this rule that players can buy themselves out of contract. Big picture of Alexander Isak. Agendas, man. They've all got agendas. And any single one of them says they have it. They're full of shit. I don't like Oliver Holt, but at least he makes it abundantly clear that he hates Newcastle. He doesn't hide behind some kind of thin veil that he doesn't. He's very honest that he hates them. I don't like him. I think he's a pretentious caviar sucking wank. But that at least you can say he hates Newcastle. He's very honest about that. He might as well wear "I hate Newcastle" t-shirt. That's how blatant he's about it. But the rest of them are sneaky with it. They just constantly try to demean Newcastle throughout all of the communications, and I'm pig sick of it. Honestly, I'm going to try to keep my head in the game in terms of the transfer news and all the other stuff, that goes on with Newcastle. But I'm so sick of these people manipulating this window to drive more narrative towards 3 or 4 clubs. Football media is broken. That's what I've said in this video in the title. It's broken. It really has lost its sea. You need someone to just be a little bit more empathetic, a little bit more impartial. Where's the coverage of Morecambe, as I said before? Where's the coverage, for the rest of football? Why isn't anybody talking about Aston Villa? What they doing this summer? What their plans? Forest, kept Gibbs White. They kept Gibbs White, their best player, and they talked about it for 3 seconds, and that was back to Isak to Liverpool, man. There's no appreciation of the other teams in the Premier League at all. Nottingham Forest won the fucking Champions League twice, didn't they? And there's no respect there for that football club at all, man. No respect for anybody. And it's just vile. It really is vile. And I don't know how much longer as fans we can just sit there and accept this shit without turning around and saying something to them, protesting or something, and I don't know how you would attack the Premier League. Last time with the Super League, the fans were brilliant in unison. They came together and said, you can fuck right off of that, we'll walk. And then all of a sudden the Premier League went, oh shit, we need to do something. And that's when they stepped up. But this PSR and FFP thing is so anti-corruptive, anti-competitive. It's so corrupt. It's there to stop teams getting beyond that fence. And we all know it. And all the clubs signed up to it. And I'd love to see how they vote next time they throw something like this at them. And if they vote the same way again, Newcastle included, then you're just cutting your own fucking throats, really, guys. You're strangling yourselves. You're not going to be able to grow. You're not going to be able to succeed. And all your fans will be pissed off with it. But I don't know. I'm so disenchanted at the moment. I really, really am. The Newcastle fan base needs this Sesko signing. I need this Sesko signing. I need it to come off. I need some positivity in this window. Newcastle could still end this window in a good way, but I just have zero confidence that these guys, whoever are doing it, are clever enough to get it done. It's so disenchanting and depressing. It really, really is. But let us know in the comments below what you guys think about all that stuff, all that shit, the football media, all the agendas against Newcastle. Do you think I'm right? Have I got my tinfoil hat and am I looking for things that aren't there? And what do you think about the Sesko thing? Do you think it's going to happen? And why have Newcastle wasted their time chasing a lost cause? If that isn't the case. Always like to hear from you. Drop a comment, then like and subscribe if you fancy a bit more of this honest, raw content. Let me know, guys, if we should even bother just keeping it up. because it seems to be, to succeed in the world of YouTube, you just got to be a soulless wanker parody character, and say ridiculous things for clickbait like Jennings or Goldbridge. I'm just me. I'm just doing what I'm doing. It's the same way I talk to you in the pub over a pint. But let us know if you like that kind of stuff, guys. Like and subscribe. I'm off to have a breather, a Coke and a smile. I'll see you later. Cheers.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.